Welcome back, everybody. We have just captured Gin. So you're probably asking yourself, what do we do now? Well, it's obvious. You rifle through his stuff. You gotta see what the heck, everything's all about in this room. See the type of opulence he's been living here. So it looks like these things are kind of like some of his writing utensils that he uses to uh, craft his books. There's his little smoking pipe. And this is something I actually discovered on my last playthrough before I recorded this one. And he has like a little music player with nice background music. I had not known that was there for years. Now, if you want access to the books on the outside of the cage, you're going to have to lower the cage itself. And that's what that switch is for. So now anytime you link back to this age, from Riven or anywhere else, you're not going to be trapped anymore. And you could turn off the power to the books, but then again, why would you? So the only real place to fully explore is this downstairs area. And of course, this looks like a recorded message. Let's take a look and see what it's all about.
Tagamem, san potegan shem, fasi.
Alright. We're not really sure what that's all about, but he's definitely probably looked at that more than one time. Maybe a lover he used to have here on Riven? Nice little wash basin with dirty water. Looks like a nice, cozy bed. Now here's what's interesting. You have a nice little picture here of that same woman you just saw a video of, so definitely someone he loved and he lost. Maybe his father? Who knows? But the real meat and potatoes is this journal and the little device next to it. So let's read this journal. You can pause as you need to. And continue on. Oh, good gosh. I hate this. So one thing... Oh, jeez. The one thing this game does that's irritating, other than, the first game Myst, is that when you click on a page, it sometimes thinks you've clicked twice, and it's really annoying. Yeah, that entry there looks like he was in a state of just despair when he wrote it. You can tell by the scrawling. Alright, so that's his journal. Got some extra clothes if he needs to, or those could be towels, who knows. But here's the device. Listen carefully. And that is the actual combination code you're going to need to get Catherine out of her prison. And don't even bother copying it down from this video, because your combination is going to be completely different from the combination I got here. So it's completely random every time you start a new game. So now that we know the combination, we got to go back to Catherine and enter it into that little device right before the bars. And yes, we gotta wait to view this entire video before we're able to click on the image again. I think they've fixed that in later games of the series, where you can still click things as movies are playing. This game and the first one, Myst, as long as a specific movie was playing, you couldn't actually do or click anything until it had finished. In this instance, they were still playing around with the mechanics of being able to freely move and click on the image as movies were playing. So they got better with it in time. Okay, now we enter in the code. Haha, and sure enough, that was the code. So now we get to meet Catherine again, but this time she will be able to escape with us. And thus begins the end game of Riven. And there's quite a few endings, actually, more so than the 3 endings, or 4 if you count them all, 4 endings of the first game. So I believe there's like 7 total endings. I'm going to just show you the best ending in this video, and we'll get to the others in a subsequent video.
We have to move quickly. Gen's people may already know what's happening. Once we're back with the moiety, we'll have time to regroup. Can I see the book? You did it. We're all free. You captured Gen. But there's still his followers. I'm not sure what I'll do once I realize he's gone. I'll have to get the villagers to safety as soon as possible. You go back to the Temple Island and reopen the fissure. I know it's risky, but it's the only way to signal Atris. I'll try to make it back there as soon as I can, but don't wait for me. Don't forget, the portal combination's in my journal. Good luck.
Now, in future games after Riven, they actually changed the actress that plays Catherine, and I actually have to disagree with that, because I actually liked this Catherine, the actress who played her in this game, because I know this is going to sound totally racist, but it's not, but she seems more native than whatever whoever the woman they replaced her with. And by that I mean she is supposed to be a resident, a person born in this age, in Riven, so she's supposed to look like everyone else who was born in this world. So the fact that she looks the part, that she looks ethnic enough to be considered a citizen of Riven, I mean, they just picked the perfect person, I think. Either that or they gave her an awesome wig, but, a perfect person to play Catherine. It's everything I expected her to look like and to be. And so it's just such a shame that they just changed her up and gave her, in my opinion, a inferior actor to play her. She is just such an interesting character. And if you've read the actual supplemental books, the Book of Atris, the Book of Denis, and all that, it really paints her as this, powerful woman, very strong-willed and very intelligent and resourceful. And I think this actress captured all of that. And so she's just my favorite actress of Catherine. I think they've changed her up twice now since this game, so I pity that. I assure you this is the last time we'll be looking at this particular movie as we enter Gen's age for, what, the 3rd time? So technically you can escape getting out, visiting Gen's age up to 1 time, so the max amount of times you'd have to enter his age is twice. I chose to enter 3 times so you could have that initial conversation with Catherine then in the last video. Just kind of show you all aspects of the story here. But you can do it in a minimum of 2, but 3 is probably what most people do. Alright, so let's see here. We want to go to Temple Island. Yep, that's the closest one to the telescope, ice cream telescope. And it'll take us all the way back to the Golden Dome next to the spinning dome next to the Golden Dome. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. All these spinning domes and linking between ages and having to wait for all these movies to end, it does kind of slow down the pace slightly towards the end game when you just want to hurry, 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 get to the end, and you're having to wait on all these. Now, it's clear that Catherine actually took this one, this linking book, back to Riven, and you can see because not everything is as you left it, so you have to bring this elevator back down. For some reason, she brought it up. And as you go throughout the rest of the Temple Island, you will see various other things that she's activated or changed on her way to Jungle Island to evacuate the rest of the citizens to the Moiety Age that she wrote. And other than that brief, I guess, cameo of one of his followers on Spire Island, you never do see any of them again. See, she retracted that catwalk. You never see any one of his followers again after this one. Now here's what gets me. She actually stopped and took the time to rotate this room just so you have an easy way back out. That was very considerate of Catherine. Shows a lot about her character. Very, very compassionate. Alright, so here's the ice cream cone telescope. Now we gotta go and enter in the code here, and I think I've just totally screwed that up. So let me back out and retry this again. That did it. If you look, there's the starry expanse. This is what Atris was talking about at the beginning of the first game, Myst. Oh man, that just sounds devastatingly loud. And you can take another look for another starry expanse view. But if you try and hit it again, something is blocking it. It's not wanting to go any further. So, if you check in the lower left here, you can move this little blockage out of the way, and then prepare for some awesomeness. Oh gosh, what did you do? You ruined everything! Basically, you've just signed the death warrant for this entire world. I hope you're happy. But that's exactly the signal that Atris needed to say, oh crap, something's big happening in there. That must be my cue to show up.
There isn't much time. Where's Catherine? Where's the book?
Atris!
I don't...
The villagers are safely in the Rebel Age. I thank you.
As do I. You've accomplished more than I could have hoped for. You've given me back my life. The path home is now clear for all of us. This is where our paths must part. Perhaps we'll meet again someday. You know where to find me. Goodbye, my friend.
Now, what seems like kind of a dick move, excuse the language, on Atris's part, let you fall into the fissure, out into open space. I'm like, geez, Atris, thanks. But if you recall back to the first game, this is how the book was found by you. So wherever the book went, that's where you could possibly go too, maybe back to your home. And that's kind of his reasoning, why he let you fall into the fissure, to find your way back to where the original Myst book went.
Now I understand. understand. Endings and beginnings are within the fissure, that riven cleft of stars that access both a wall and a bridge. And though I am unable to understand how, the very flow of stars that brought my Myst book into worthy hands, I am sure served as a safe passage home for my friend. The age of Riven is closed forever, but the people of Riven are free. And now I am at rest, understanding that in books and ages and life, the ending can never truly be written.
And with that, we have completed Riven, the sequel to Myst. It is by far one of my favorite games in the saga, and congratulations to all the people who worked on it. It was quite the fun puzzle game overall. So we're gonna just quickly run through all these credits, and at the end of it, we're gonna have a puzzle analysis, just like we did in the first fun run with Myst. So that'll be tacked on after these credits. And then I'll have another video shortly after that uploaded where we will explore the other 6 endings of Riven and the bad things that could happen to either you or Atris or Catherine or whoever else. So look forward to that. See you later. As I've stated a few times already, Riven is my favorite part in the Myst saga. I love the fact they created an entire world, culture, and mythology behind the game. It helped involve the player in a more intimate sense than the segregated cookie-cutter puzzle ages of the first game. It did what a true sequel should do: expand upon the previous in a myriad of ways and raise the bar for any future installments. It accomplished all that and much more with aplomb. Now, the puzzle quality in this game is a bit haphazard, and it is more in tune with how the puzzles fit into the overall function of the world rather than, just having them there just because. So, starting off with the rotating room puzzle, it isn't exactly the most difficult, and basically solves itself once you know its dirty little secret. The fact that you had to crawl under a door with the lock is a bit cruel. Most players might go wandering around searching for a key that doesn't even exist. So, the game gets 1 puzzle point for that. Jungle Island didn't have too many puzzle issues. Once you figured out the submarine and how to travel along the bottom of the village lake, there really wasn't much else stopping you here. The classroom work number game was a unique device to portray to the player a numbering system that would have to be utilized for later. Crater Island had the boiler room puzzle, which isn't terribly hard to figure out once you got the proper sequence down. There is really only one correct sequence to solve it. The nasty trick of closing the doors behind you in the tunnels can trip some people up. I sure fell for it. Been wandering around that island for hours. So another puzzle point for that. Spire Island has nothing worthy of note to speak of in terms of puzzles, but it does lead nicely into overall macro puzzles of the entire game, which I'll speak of next. Jungle Island is home to the Moaidi puzzle. You must find 5 animal eyes that make specific animal sounds and then link those to the numbers you discovered in the work game in the classroom. Once you found the proper order for the animals, you could then access the Moaidi age once found. This is probably the easiest of the macro puzzles and the one I solved on my own with no outside help. The second puzzle is a bit trickier and requires some keen observation on the first 10 numeric Denis digits. Once you see a pattern forming based off the first 4 numbers in the system, you, as the player, are expected to continue that pattern until the number 25. It is a very counterintuitive system, and I'd wager most players didn't quite make that connection between the first 10 numbers and what the rest would be. So 2 puzzle points for that puzzle alone. Finally, the ultimate puzzle of them all, the Golden Dome Generator. The sheer amount of information you had to collect from multiple areas is just mind-blowing. To expect the player to connect all those different threads of information and realize they all apply to the same puzzle is quite the stretch. First you needed to know the symbol of each island, then its color, then its quadrant, and then the specific location of each spinning dome on each island. Even with all that information, there were still 4 to 5 pieces that you still had to guess at. All in all, it ended up being a ridiculously convoluted puzzle that completely stumped me, and I'm sure just about every other player out there. A whopping 4 puzzle points go to that stinking puzzle. Ugh. Oy vey. Finally, any random combination puzzles found throughout the game aren't really worth mentioning, since they can be easily deciphered and executed. All in all, Despite some minor gripes, I still love this game to death, and I would recommend it to any puzzle fan out there who has not yet played it themselves. Tallying up all the points, Riven, the sequel to Myst, gets a 9 out of 10 books for puzzle complexity. I think I'm going to take a break from the Myst series for a while, but my goal is to complete Exile and Revelations a bit later this year. Or maybe next year, who knows. Anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed this Myst player series, and I shall see you on the next fun run. Until then, see you later.